It's time to bench Draymond Green. If the Warriors have any intention on having a shot at winning this title, they have to bench Draymond Green. And I'm not saying don't use him at all, but he is not starting and he is not getting the 35 minutes a night that he has been getting. You see, and it's for several reasons. And I'm not going to get into the whole how important has Draymond Green been to the Golden State Warriors era, the Steph Curry era, and all the titles and all the success that they've had, or is he a Hall of Fame player? Because he'll probably get in the Hall of Fame. But I'm talking about right now, in 2022, in the NBA Finals against the Boston Celtics, the Golden State Warriors are lucky to only be down 2-1. And if they actually intend to win this series, it has to come at the expense of Draymond Green's minutes. One of the things that the Warriors are famous for doing is going super small ball. They played Draymond Green at center years ago with an ultra small lineup, and they just bullied teams. They overwhelmed them with offense. But they also played sneakily good defense. And yes, they were a little bit vulnerable in the paint, but Draymond Green was pretty solid there defensively. The problem is, and something that's been exposed in this series, and really the whole playoffs, they've just gotten away with it. Golden State's not guarding anybody. And especially high percentage shots and looks that they're giving up on the regular. The Celtics are getting to the rim at will against them. And unbelievably, the Celtics have missed a lot of bunnies. It almost cost them last night. They got to the rim constantly. Jason Tatum felt like he was 2 of 12 at the rim. I don't know the exact stats, but those high percentage looks that they're just getting all the time. And on top of that, and maybe it's because of how easily they're getting to the rim, maybe it's because of the way that the Warriors are not successfully switching, they're getting tons of open looks behind the arc. And the Celtics, who are a very good team and a very well-rounded team, they're shooting the ball very well. They don't have the advanced offense that the Warriors have. The Celtics do not have the level of ball movement that the Warriors have. The Celtics go to a lot of ISO, which really in the modern NBA you see a lot of, but it frustrates me. I'm honest to God, I'm sick of seeing Jason Tatum go ISO because half of them end in a contested shot that doesn't go anywhere. But they're still getting a ton of really good open looks and high percentage shots. So if the Warriors want to combat this, with Draymond on the floor, he has not been any better on defense. He's been getting abused. Old man Al Horford's been abusing him. Williams, when he can play, and listen, they are very lucky that he has not been able to play a lot because he has been limited by injury. He is bullying them on the offensive glass, putbacks, defensively. Listen, I watched Draymond Green get put in a blender several times last night, and it's been a theme of this series. Draymond Green has more fouls than he does points through 3 games this series. Last night, he fouled out of the game, and it was, honest to God, it was a mercy killing by officiating. It was. He has been awful in 2 out of these 3 games and just serviceable in the 3rd. Their defense has been really bad, with or without Dre on the floor. If they have any hope of winning this series, it is going to be blitzing Boston with an offensive onslaught that Boston just can't keep up with, regardless of how poorly Golden State plays on the defensive end. You know me, in all sports, I am defensive minded. I am defense first. But if there's one sport that you can get away without playing a lot of defense, it is the modern NBA. The way the game is called, the way that the game has gone with the 3-point revolution, you can get away with lackluster NBA defense if you just blitz teams with more points than they have the talent to score on you. And the only way that they can do this is by going ultra small. We are going to swap Draymond Green in the starting lineup for Jordan Poole. Now, obviously, I don't mean Jordan Poole is going to play the 4. But Jordan Poole is going to go into the starting lineup. Dre's going to come out. And Jordan Poole, listen, he has not been lighting the world on fire. He's been okay. And his defense is nothing special. But the Warriors are not going to win this by suddenly discovering defense that they're just not, that this iteration of the Warriors is just not capable of. You have Looney, who really has got to have the stamina and stay out of foul trouble to play longer stretches of the game and be that rim protector and just, please, for the love of God, not let the Celtics get to the rim at will. And of course, on the other end, he has got to help create easy buckets. But that's your big. You have Looney, and then you are ultra small with your other four. You got Klay Thompson and Andrew Wiggins. They're both 6'7". I don't care which one you put at the four. We're playing positionless basketball. All right, we're playing ultra small. Steph's your point. Jordan Poole's your two. You can do it however you want. You're not going to be good on defense, but you're already horrible on defense. You need to try to run them out of the building, and then you have someone like Dre that can come off the bench. They can give you those bench minutes. They can maybe abuse the Celtics' second string lineup a little bit because he's getting abused by the starters. But if you can have him coming off the bench, not being the liability he's been, whether it's the careless passes and the turnovers, whether it's he can't score. He is a complete on offense right now. They're playing 4 against 5 at best, and the Celtics have a pretty darn decent defense. He has been completely useless on the offensive side of the ball, and he is not making up for it on the defensive side of the ball. He is not. Listen, one of his best attributes has been the way that he fits in the system and his passing ability. He has pretty darn solid passing ability. That has not been there. You can only set so many moving screens in a game. All right, if that's all you're doing, you're not providing that much value to this team. They can work their offense completely without Draymond Green. And defensively, I can't see them getting that much worse. And at the end of the day, this is really a Hail Mary. I know that they're only down 2-1. I know that they've been close. They won the game 2 games ago, and they were close last night. They drew, I think, within 4 in the fourth quarter. The third quarter, every single game, the Warriors have blitzed the Celtics. But it just doesn't matter when the Celtics... What if the Celtics start hitting all these bunnies? Then you're just completely done. Because as well as the Celtics have been shooting, the looks that you're giving them, they could be scoring even more. It's time for a Hail Mary. It's time to bench Draymond Green. Have him come off the bench and see what he can give you against the Celtics reserves. Have him come as a backup to Looney if you want to. But you've got to do something. And honest to God, I am just sick of watching what the Warriors are now. It is the most boring basketball. It's literally Steph making miracle shots and sometimes Klay hitting something. That's the whole Warriors game right now. It's not winning basketball against a team like the Celtics. Bench Draymond, at least give us something entertaining to watch, and see if you can score 140 points a game.
Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what?